and then the other one. You know what? It only feels like a couple of weeks ago when I was bunging t-shirts in the freezer to try and cool down. Monday morning. Yes, Monday morning. I'm on my way to Oldham just to go and help somebody out with a flat battery. It's one of those days where I think if I just be nice to people, maybe some good things will come my way. Earlier on, I was clearing up rubbish around the skip. Now the landlord says to me, "Oh, thanks for that. I'll knock a bit off your rent." But then, you know, I won't say no. Last Monday, here's a thing. I actually started making a video on my way to work, but I decided to walk to work instead. And just on the way, so many interesting images that just normally pass by. I was in one of those exceedingly reflective moods, and I was going to post a video of it, but then I didn't, because I thought it's just not cheerful enough. As a video maker and kind of blogger, really, I suppose that's how it's become, I try and stick with the things that amuse me. I try and make things amusing. I try and find something fun in everything that's going on, but sometimes it's not there. And I'm in two minds, really, whether to completely keep all of the non-fun things away from my viewing public. But then other times, maybe some people would be interested in the man behind the silly car. As promised, Boaty's car is going to come out today. My little friend Boaty won't want to watch this video because he hates seeing this car here, even though he left it there. So it's time today to move it over there. Let's see some progression on this car called Sheeson. If you find Boaty confusing, you'll find him talk about his cars even more confusing, because he refers to this car not as it or she or he, but as them. This car's name Sheeson is a combination of two names, a male and a female name. According to the good reverend, that makes this car gender neutral. But if you think about it, the odd thing about people naming cars is they call them he or she in the first place. They're already gender neutral. But it doesn't mean that they are them, it means they are it. Okay. No. It's going to need a bit more than that. There we go, it's on. I didn't know you had an ABS light warning as well. Do you have a sneaking feeling that as soon as I take this off, it's going to go off? Ah, good. Okay. No! My plan for this car today is not evil. It is in fact quite kind. It will be to drag it from down there and place it here. And when I say drag, I do mean drag, because the rear wheel's sticking on. So it simply has to drag itself out of that space. Like a teenager dragging itself out of bed in the morning or the afternoon because it's got a hangover from 2 cans of Guinness the night before. I remember those times well. That really is the most unpleasant feeling, the most horrible sound. There's nothing I can do though. It's just got to drag and that's it. There we go, another little dirt trail all the way along there. Dirt trail, it's all dirt. Well, little Sheeson, you're there, jacked up at the back, ready for that wheel to come off them. Let's just go through the problem with this car. The handbrake is off, but it's also on. So maybe that's kind of typical of a car that is both male and female, but refuses to be called it, and it has to be gender neutral. Oh dear. Well, it seems that a simple caliper is not going to be quite enough for this. As we can now see, with the caliper removed, the brake pad's still in place. It's kind of bonded itself to the disc. It's coming off gradually, but there we go. It's off, more or less. It's just a couple of bits there that's still stuck on. Yeah, so it would seem that it needs some pads as well, because you can't put those pads back in because they're completely ruined. Whatever the case, without the funds to actually buy the parts for this, I'm just going to have to stick the wheel back on. It's going to have to just go back in the corner for the moment. And now it's time to drive home in the dark. Even though I'm going home early, it's still dark. There's nothing I can do about it besides go home a bit earlier. That'd be a really stupid thing to do. Come on now. Nothing drives like a Rover. Nothing does the job as well. Nothing just makes you feel like going for a drive as much as a Rover. And that's why I have one. Do you know what? Drive anything at all. I get back in this and I think, yes, this is great. Yes, do some driving for me. And I do. I do some driving and I absolutely thoroughly enjoy it. Look, this isn't a pretend smile. This is happy. Oh, wow, wow, wow. So, I must apologise. That's another day gone by where I haven't seen to my beard. This beard I have here is way past its best, and I need to do something about it. In other words, get rid. And if you're wondering why I'm speaking to you from the front of the car rather than from here, this way. It's too dark, isn't it? It's rubbish when it's dark. But you join me at a time of indecision. You see, it is Wednesday, it is wet because it's Wednesday, and I'm not sure what's happening next. I could just continue the stuff for the end of the week for the kind of roundup video, or I could try and do something new. Decisions to be made, what to do when the weather dictates your actions. It's not nice. Rain, precipitation should not be my boss, but unfortunately it is. Come on, Steve, come and buy this car. It's a Mercedes 190e, and I'm doing a review in this car. That's true, I've done a review on this car. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. Maybe I haven't posted it yet. I'm not really sure which one it is. This car is owned by a man called Johnny, known as Johnny Two Subarus. Who's because he's got Subarus. In actual fact, when I first met him, he had 3 Subarus, and now he's got 2 again. But he also has this rather lovely 30-year-old Mercedes 190e. And the reason it's lovely is because it's a 190e, and because there's not a speck of rust on it anywhere. 30 years, not even a tiny bit of rust, which is quite amazing. But it does need a bit of looking after with the paint. Look at that. It's been raining. There's no beading here at all. There was a bit on the bonnet actually. Maybe that was waxed at one point. Because I've done some paint rectification on my own car, suddenly everybody thinks I'm an expert. I don't think everybody does. A couple of people do. So Johnny, who I will say is a very, very nice chap, has asked me to do this job on this car, make that paint gleam again, and it's right up my street. It's exactly the kind of thing I like to do, so I will do. This job needs lots of water, but it's also cold, and you know what happens when you're cold. So you're probably thinking I'm filling a bucket full of water now. I will be in a minute. I know the majority of my subscribers have come here to me because of my connection with Rover, and then other British cars, and then some car reviews. So please don't be put off by seeing a Mercedes. One, I actually like them, and the other is it's still me doing the video. So, you know, I want to do videos like this, so please stay subscribed, and if you're not subscribed, do some subscribing now. Let's get clean. I am effectively going to do this one panel at a time because it's very difficult to do a whole car in one day properly. Plus, you don't know just how good a job it's going to do. It might not make any difference. It might just look exactly the same, in which case it will be a bit pointless. So let's take the time. As you can see, there are some green bits knocking about, showing that it's had some period of time where it's not been washed. So with a nice soapy little wash on the boot and the roof and the bonnet, and then a brush out to remove all that green stuff, I can actually start doing some clay barring. Because although paint looks okay, it is silver, and people with silver cars don't wash their cars. You can feel it's rough. Not exceedingly so, but it's not particularly nice. That's a bit rough. But the bonnet actually is about the same. It's got a few bits in there. Could be a lot worse. If you ever used clay bar before, you'll know it's horrible. It's really hard, and it's the plastic stuck on it there. That's got to come off. It's like chewing gum hardened onto the pavement. It's disgusting, and it's not pleasant to deal with unless you use some very hot water. Then it becomes a bit easier. You know, hot water and the plasticky stuff peels off, and it starts to go soft. Actually, that's boiling water, and I've got my finger in it. I don't recommend doing that. No, not filming. I'm not going to be doing anything that elaborate. Just clay bar, then the machine polish, and then some black hole stuff to clean all that stuff off, and then some wax, and we'll see how that turns out. Taking a chance on the weather turning out, and it has. That's the buffing done. Just one quick buff over with that. It's made it quite a bit different. Made it quite a bit nicer actually. And now for this one. I need to be quick at this now because I'm running out of fluids. And usually that's actually the easy bit done. What I will struggle with is this. Yeah. This looks rather exceedingly dull down this side, so let's crack on. And now it's time for this side here. That was the roughest bit, and currently it doesn't look much more rough, but soon it will look a lot less rough. That's the plan, that's the idea, that's what I'm doing, that's what I'm going to stick with. Back on the subject of food, because it is now 1:15. That's the afternoon, and unless I'm about to eat something I have at work, I'm going to continue to eat nothing. So here's what I'm going to do. Last week I mentioned in one of my videos that I'd quite like to not be 16 stone any longer, but I'd also not like to have to give up eating curries and stuff like that. And it was a joke, but somehow quite a few of you come up with some actual suggestions that make sense. And one of them is stop eating bread and pasties and stuff like that and have something that's full of protein. So that's what I've been trying to do, starting today. This bread here I would have made toast with, but it's not a good idea for me to eat it, and also it's going a bit mouldy. So it's for skimming purposes only, and that will help build up an appetite that I've already got. In the air at the moment there is the distinct smell of Chinese food being cooked, and that's only helping my appetite further. So what have I got in the fridge? Potato curry and rice, and chili and rice. So rice and potatoes in all of it. That means carbohydrates again, and if I'm going to avoid carbohydrates, I'm not going to be eating that. And that is the extent of the food at work. except for this, the stewed steak. Stewed steak in a rusty tin. Do I eat it? Well, I'm starting to clean some of the rust off at least. Be honest, would you eat this? Well, would you? Well, it's so old it's not even got a date on it. Well, it has, but I can't read it because I've just washed it off. I managed to get rid of most of the rusty bits, but as you can see, it's still quite a bit there. And well, it didn't go pop, so it's not gone wrong inside. Oh gosh. Ugh. It looks like cat food. Yeah. I'm not liking the look of that at all. That really does look like cat food. But, you know, it might be nice. I am genuinely hungry, and I can't really go anywhere from here because, well, I just can't. And I've got a microwave. I could always warm it up. See what it's like then. If I don't want it, it's not going to do any harm trying, is it? Actually smells like cat food. Why don't I just eat some cat food? That was going to be for the cat as well, and then I thought, yeah, probably should. I did think, should I feed somebody else's cat because it was in the yard? And the answer is probably not really, because you only do it just so you can get closer to that cat, be more of a friend with the cat, and that cat doesn't really want to be friends anyway. So what's the point? One thing the cat won't do though is look at the tin and say, oh, that's all rusty. How come the tin's rusty? Or, you know, you've got mice in that lockup. I bet the mice have been pooing on that. Or what's the date on it? And if they did have the intelligence to be curious about what the sell-by date was, they wouldn't be clever enough to understand that it's hermetically sealed anyway, so it's not really going to make any difference. And that's why I'm not really going to worry about it, because it's just stewed steak in a tin. The fact that it's there in the first place suggests that I didn't really want to eat it, but as there's nothing else there, what else can I do? Now what I want to do now is walk into the lockup and go, well, that smells good, that's giving me an appetite. Let's see if that happens. It's been cooking for a couple of minutes. Nope, still smells like cat food. That's how they make these things cheap, because there's a bit of meat in there and flour, oil and gravy. Well, the gravy's made of flour and some stuff that tastes a bit like meat. I'm genuinely going to eat some of this, and I really want to like it. I don't know why I should be so disgusted by it, but I just kind of am. Look at that. That's warmed up this stuff. It is basically cat food, and it is pretty disgusting. Do some more lights on that thing, mate. Ah, this is why it's so busy, eh? Is this why it's so busy? Yes, it is. Hello. Oh, I thought you were going to let me go then, but no. 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 Don't blind me though. Make sure you blind me. Thank you. Yep, thanks. Thank you. Right, should I go this time? No. No. Well, one of these times I'll be able to go. There is enough room for me to get through that gap as well, but that would probably see somebody careering off into the pavement because they can't see they have actually got enough room. Come on now, come on, come on, let me out, come on now, oh come on, yeah, no you want to, go on, go on, go on, no, okay, alright, I'll give it a minute. There's quite a lot coming down. It's going to stop in a second. There's going to be nowhere for you to go. And at last, there we go. There we go. Thank you very much. That's what it takes. It takes for the traffic coming the other way to have absolutely nowhere to go before one of them will decide that perhaps it's your turn. Well, I've just had an unsubscriber as a direct result of me posting a video of some stewed beef that looks like cat food on a short. It was only about 11 seconds long. It's strange that, because that would suggest that whoever unsubscribed saw that, having seen one of my videos, and thought, this guy's okay, let's see what else he's got, subscribed, and then thought, cat food? No! You should be eating dog food. And that's why that particular person has unsubscribed. But it's not a particularly good reflection on the rest of my videos, and you should watch more first. As much as I try, I'll forget something. I've forgotten my phone charger yet again. I unplugged it just before setting off, ready to stick in my box of keys, and then didn't stick it in there. And now I've got almost home through all this really terrible rough traffic, and I've got to go back again. And this is also, I have a battery charger thing off of my friend George for these kind of instances, but the cable. Well, in last week's Roundup video, I did ask for some advice about possibly losing some weight, being as I'm 16 stone and I don't want to give up eating or beer and stuff like that. And to my surprise, lots of people come up with some suggestions. And I will tell you that I've taken all of this to heart. I am actively doing some of these things right now. My friend Johnny Two Subarus came up with all sorts of very useful and insightful information about some of the food that we eat that we think is fine that actually isn't. And that is something I've really been taking notice of over the past couple of days. Today is Thursday, but what's relevant is since Tuesday, so for 2 days, I've not eaten any bread except for a pizza that I made last night. But that was different because it was a special occasion. I made my own sour bread, so you know, it's worth the indigestion. No potatoes, no rice, and no pasta, but instead lots of eggs and meaty stuff, and beans and pulses and lentils and all that kind of thing, avoiding vegetable oils. Then also on top of this, no beer. I've not had a beer since Monday. I had some wine and some port that was in the house. The trouble is, if it's there, I'll just tend to drink it because I like it. I find it very relaxing in the evening to have a beer or a glass of wine whilst I edit my video. But last 2 nights, I haven't. I've just had water, and the result so far is good. I think I feel a bit more energetic. I don't feel all bloated up or anything like that. But it's a bit difficult to tell at the moment because I've got this rucksack on that has boots, a box full of keys, and a couple of dishes full of curry as well. I'm also, as you can see, walking to work. It's not that far, it's only a couple of miles off. What's the big deal? I should do it all the time. Save some petrol money. This is a fascinating view for me. Seeing the fighting robots from a different angle, and the river down there, and the factory where all that screaming child sounds happen. Aldi in the distance, and then there's a man on the roof. We can't see though, is the lockup. Yes, I can. I can see the cars there. Just about see them. I grew up here, and one of the cool things about taking a walk is it sets off all of your stimulating nostalgia senses in you. You become all whimsical and just like that. It's nice. Well, I'm walking home now, and one of the main motivations for doing this is just, honestly, 3 weeks without earning any money, it's not a good thing. It really isn't. But rather than complain about it, having this walk to work and back is kind of a bit proactive. At least I'm still doing something. I'm still going to work. And I need to go to work, and I need to be out during the daytime. So I still feel what, and that makes me feel quite content. Well, it is Friday morning, just about still. I'm at work. I'm not going to be cracking on and doing anything else with this, certainly not for a while, because I'm expecting somebody to turn up. Somebody with a rather lovely MG ZS. That's a big parcel, isn't it? This, you're probably thinking, should be the other video, but instead it's here because the other video isn't happening today. Well, it looks like I could have myself a future in paint renovation. That is super duper. Friday, having another lovely walk home. This time it's Friday. The only downside I can see to this walking to and from work malarkey is that it is just a little bit time consuming. But how valuable is my time in the first place? Yesterday I got offered a lift home by one of the chaps in the garage who was coming this way anyway, and I turned it down. I said, no, I actually fancy the walk home. And today Senior Mustard's been around, and he offered me a lift as well. He offered me a lift just as I was about to go, and I said no. Strange, eh? I actually want to have this walk home. It's such a proactive thing to be doing about trying to be a bit more healthy and having a bit more time to let my mind wander and figure out some solutions to things. Now the only thing is I could do with some better walking gear. If I stand or walk slowly, I get back problems. If I walk quickly, I don't have back problems. But because I'm using shoes, I'm not walking very quickly because it's making my feet hurt. So now I've got aching feet and an aching back. Oh, I can smell some food going on there, and that's what I need. I've had a bowl of curry today, and that is all. And tonight I feel I need to go off and buy loads and loads of meat and douse it in pepper and just chop it endlessly. I was supposed to be having a bit of a weekend off, but I've just popped into work because there's a man turning up called Beards and Bangers. I don't think that's his real name, but he's come in to buy some seats off of me. And he's coming from a very long way indeed, so it will be rude of me to just not pop in for 10 minutes or so to accommodate his purchase. Anyway, the seats are to be collected from the other side of this 400, so I should get them out. As promised, there's a man with a beard. Look, you look a bit like James Whale, actually.
James Whale?
Yeah, do you remember him?
No.
He was a controversial radio TV man from the late from the mid-90s.
Talk Sport or something like that?
No, it could have been actually. Yeah, James Whale.
Hello, everybody.
It's James Whale, a man with a beard and a banger. Well, what a lovely chap he was. Beards and bangers. No, not beards and bangers. Yeah, beards and bangers. Beards and bangers. I'll have a little look at his channel later. Might even subscribe if I'm feeling generous. So, until next week, or until tomorrow. Bye bye.